recording. All good. All right, guys. Welcome. Obviously, some of us had the fortunate opportunity to be in Perth last week, and we kind of thought there'd be some of the things that we shared and learned over in Perth that would be good to share with you guys. But as normal, before we kick off, it's been a couple of weeks since we had a webinar. So in the last couple of weeks, has anyone come up with any questions or anything that you'd like to know? And Sandra, I know you're new, so please feel free. If there are things that you want to ask, there's no too complicated or not too complicated questions. So if there's anything you'd like to know, fire away. There's some really great builders on the webinar, so there are people who can share their stories as well.
And the fact of the matter is, most of them know more than what we do, so just ask away.
Cool. So if anyone's got any questions to fire off with, do you want to just make sure and unmute yourself and give us a wave, and then you can say hello if you've got a question. Otherwise, there are a couple of slides that we'll kind of talk through, or some pictures more, I suppose. So anyone got anything they want to ask up initially? Not really.
Not yet.
Not yet. All right, awesome. Michelle, how are you going with booking classes and things down your way at the moment, by the way?
Yeah, I do more one-on-ones, to be honest, than classes. People don't always people seem to be a bit scared of the classes sometimes.
Okay.
I find. And down in Byron, so the thing is, in down in Byron, people already know better, you know? So
yeah.
So it's kind of it can be quite a challenge sometimes. It can be quite challenging. Like I did a class a couple of months ago with some yogis, and it was just really, really hard because it was just really hard to communicate with them because they thought they knew everything and they thought they knew better, you know? So yeah. It can be quite hard. There's a lot of I know better kind of attitude down here. Sometimes everyone's holier than thou. So so it can be really challenging. But I'm doing a lot of like one-on-ones and that kind of thing. And I'm actually having more people approach me these days than me having to approach them.
That's
so I'm having a lot of that.
That's actually really, really
just
great.
I need to see those enrollments come through though.
Yeah, that's okay. The word's true. Because I find with this business, I think other people will probably, you know, agree with it. Sometimes you just go through phases of growth. Other times you go through phases of just watering and seeding and, you know, and just planting the seeds. So it's pretty much just the way that it is with this type of industry and this business. But when people start coming to you, yay, that's really fantastic.
And it's actually, you know, it's such a nice feeling when people do come to you, because I guess sometimes you don't know. You're like, oh, am I planting a seed? Like, I'm not getting interactions with my posts, or not as much as I want to. And then I've had a couple of friends that I haven't been in contact with in years contact me from New Zealand. I've got, I'm going to have 3 people in Japan. So I'm going to have 2 people in Japan. They're already enrolled, but they're moving back to Japan next year. And then I've got another Japanese lady jumping on board too this month, which is really awesome.
Wow,
that's great,
Michelle. Well done to you. Just keep at it.
Yeah.
You know, the fact is, the business does this. We all do this. And
yeah.
It's like, forward is forward. Leonie Featherstone says it so well. She says forward is forward, and sometimes forward means just continue doing what you're doing. And you know, if you've got 1 or 2 people who sign up with you in a month, that's okay too. You don't have to have this massive growth. Maintenance is a good thing to do as well, and checking in with yourself, how you're going. You know, I think that's a really important part of us in this business, is that we actually take care of ourselves as much as, you know, we want to grow and just throw in everything we've got into the business. Really is important to take stock of how we are doing as well. And those are the times that it's okay just to plant seeds and keep going, you know, just keep things moving forward. Anyway, we'll hear from someone else, so well done.
That's great, yeah. And obviously, if you've got folks leaving to go back to Japan, it's a good time to work with them around, do they understand the Japanese market? Do they know their products? Can you put them onto the doTERRAeveryday.jp and all those different sites so that they have all of that information as well, which is awesome. Good stuff. Anyone else with any questions at the moment? Okay.
Okay, we're going to unmute you, Sandy. Hold
All
on.
right, just a sec, Sandy.
Hey,
I'll just
Sandra.
unmute you. There you go.
Okay.
Fire away.
Leading. With regards to signing people up, if I was to sign up someone and then sign someone else up under them, and then that person decided they wanted to pull out, what happens to the people who have signed up under that person? Do they just come under me or
Yeah, good question. Basically, when someone enrolls and they open a Wellness Advocate account, it's a 12-month account
Awesome.
or a wholesale account. So they will stay where they are for at least 13 months. So if they decide during that 13 months they're not interested, they don't want to do anything, they will still sit there. Physically, it will still show up in the tree. And then at the end of them, effectively 13 months after not doing anything, that little person on the tree will disappear and everyone just slides up and fills that spot.
That means if they're not active for those 12, 13 months, because whenever they buy something, that means that they're active. Just means that someone to fall off the tree basically means that they mustn't buy anything for that period of time.
Yeah.
Okay.
and
And hopefully that doesn't matter, that they love the oils very much and that they might want to buy another oil, or they might want to buy some of the home products, or some of the Lifelong Vitality Complex or something like that. So there's a whole lot of different options other than the essential oils that people can actually get into. We're not selling essential oils. We are promoting a healthy lifestyle in what we're doing. So, if people are into healthy living, there's a whole lot of options available for them through the doTERRA back office.
Yeah.
We can talk a lot more. I think I'll come visit you, Sandy, and
yeah, that'd be nice. I'll put the kettle on. I'll make some lemon chocolates, which I've been experimenting with.
Well, no, that sounds
Lovely.
amazing.
There you go. Michelle's ears have pricked up. We're like,
I'm coming too.
It's an interesting question you ask, and maybe we can just get some feedback from people on the webinar. What have you done with your team where you see someone hasn't ordered for 6 months or 7 months? Has anyone actually taken steps, or has a strategy around how do you approach someone if you've seen that they haven't ordered? Do you follow up with people? Is it something that you keep an eye on at all? Or do you kind of just ignore them and watch them disappear and suddenly they become an empty triangle and then vanish? So
who wants to talk?
does anyone want to share what they maybe do?
Okay, that's Leanne.
Leanne, I'll unmute you.
I just hi.
Hello.
I've unmuted.
Great.
Do you want to share with us?
Okay.
Yeah.
All I've done Sure. Okay. All I've done is I just keep an eye on them, and I send them a message or just contact them in some way and just talk to them and tell them what products are coming up, and that's all I do. Just keep that little bit of communication open.
Excellent.
That's all I can. That's all you can do.
Yeah.
I've got a couple who are going to fall off the tree, but that's just the way.
Absolutely, and people.
So that's what I do.
People who joined you maybe 12 months ago, we didn't know enough. We didn't know how to share as well as we do now. We're getting better at it. We're getting better at telling the story. So the more you have an opportunity to communicate with them, the better. But that's great, yeah.
Thanks, Leanne, for that.
I think, Annabelle, you wanted to add. I'll unmute you as well. There we go.
Yeah, I mean, I've got a few because it's only just sort of clicked over to that 12 months now. And I guess they were all ones that has happened to me so far are all friends of mine. And so a couple, I've basically sent them all an email just saying, thank you so much for your support. I appreciate that you might have just bought oils to support me, and I appreciate that. But, if you still want to buy them, then I've said just letting you know that your account will basically expire on this date, and I've looked up the date. I've just said, here are your options. One, you can make a purchase before that date and we'll keep your account open. And then after that date, if you choose to purchase again, you'll get charged $25 renewal and get sent your peppermint oil. I said, or You can just wait, and at some point, you know, in a month or two, if you want to buy something, you can reactivate your account by paying, you know, the $25. I said, and if you don't want to buy any more, that's completely fine. I just wanted to let you know that, you know, that this is what was coming up. And I had one that I thought was going, the first person that I enrolled, who's a very good friend of mine, but she sort of said a few negative things over the time. I thought she was just going to let it go, and she just bought a lavender and something else. So I just decided I'll keep my account going. And another friend who's like, oh, you just have to come over and we'll have to buy the things together. Hers is sort of expired, but I've also thought it's not been unhelpful for some of those people to expire, because then I can place them somewhere better if they drop off, and then because they have been inactive, I think that's the way it works, then I can move them. And there are a few that, so in my first leg, it's a pretty long leg, so I figure if they're not interested and they bought just because they're my friend, I don't mind if they drop off, and that pushes a few people further up, and that's probably, that's okay too.
Yeah,
absolutely.
All good.
And I mean, they shared it at leadership, and I'll show you the slide again, that we're still operating around that 72% retention rate, which when you look at it, it means that 72 out of every 100 people order again within a 12-month period. So that does mean that 28% probably don't. So to our point, that's normal. Some people will resonate with it and others won't, and that's fine. Danielle's made a great comment and said that someone fell off her tree and has actually come back as a builder, which is really cool.
Yeah, that's cool.
Danielle, are you there? Do you want to just add to that and share with us how you managed to bring them back on? What, did you do anything special, or how did you get them back involved?
No, I didn't really do anything specific, but it was someone that I did know. It was actually the kids' old daycare teacher. And I think really she was just too busy to really actually start using the oils when she signed up. She signed up at the same time as me, actually. So she also dropped off partly because I didn't give her the correct information at the start, because I wasn't aware of the renewal.
Okay.
But just decided to start using the oils, and she's sharing, and both her and her husband both want to make it a business. So
that's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, you just never know who's going to turn into what down the track. So good on you. That's great. Really good. Okay. Anyone else with any other questions at the moment while we've been talking? Minion?
I do, just on that. I've actually just had someone drop into our team that wasn't active, and she found out her upline are all inactive as well. So she's actually one of my builders, her husband's auntie. Her husband's auntie. So she just, she's reactivated her account. She just sent them an email to say, can I please be placed under Leah? And pretty much the next day, she's appeared on Leah's tree on her front line.
Oh, good.
But I said wait 24 hours because she said she hasn't come up as that she can move her. So I don't know. Can she move her, or is she going to be stuck on her front line?
Oh, I don't know.
I said sometimes it can take 24 hours for them to show up in sponsor changes before you can actually move them.
I have a feeling that if you've requested a move, then where they come up is where they'll stay.
That's correct. So then
she should have
the move request had to be specific. Please place me under this specific person in Leah's tree.
Yeah.
So she's going to be on the line. Always try. But see if they'll move it, but I doubt it. You can always try.
Yeah, so she should. Well, I'm surprised. I thought they had to fill out a form and get signatures, but obviously that's what I said. Well, gee, if all the uplines inactive and not there, it's pretty hard for her to get a signature. So
No, that's
well, we know for.
Yep. Sorry.
I was just going to say we'll just know for next time if it ever happens. But yeah, so next time she should specify. Yep.
Yeah.
That Leah was
the specific place.
Roller.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. Oh, that's great though that she's come on board. That's good.
Excellent. Annabelle, you had another question, did you?
Oh, yeah, my other question, and maybe going to cover this, was just when all the wholesale customer thing is starting.
Yeah, some people thought last night, and I looked at the system now before coming on webinar, and it's still showing preferred customer. So I think we're imminent to a switch over on the online system. It was supposed to be the 7th, which is now in America. So it may well still be tonight. So I'll keep an eye on things tonight. I've got a couple of documents and some links on the wholesale customer and what people are saying, and I'll share that on the group. But off the back of some of the conversation we've had before, the general feeling at leadership, and Minion, add in if you want to, but the general feeling at leadership is business as usual. Same conversations with your prospects. Convince them to sign up as a wellness advocate, go down the wellness advocate route, unless you've got a major strategy, which people are probably thinking about. If they are absolutely vehemently against multi-level marketing and earning commissions, then don't lose them, sign them as a wholesale customer, and then think about where you're going to place them, because obviously you can't put anyone underneath them. But it does give you that 90 days to talk to them about what they might want to do. But
to be honest with you, if I were to sign up clients of mine now, I might consider doing them as wholesale customers, because really none of my well, I can't say none of my clients, but I've got probably 90% of my clients have got absolutely no interest whatsoever in creating any income or business, use the business opportunity, or sharing their essential oils as such. And only a handful of them have ever done that. So they've gone on to do quite well in the business side of it. So that might come in useful, but otherwise just use the, as Craig says, just keep on going with that. Our normal way of wellness advocate, wholesale membership, and when that comes in as a customer, try not to have that conversation with people, because in the end, we've already discussed this, but it's going to be up to you what you want to do. But in the end, when we place people in a line like that, joink, and they go in on loyalty rewards, what happens is it creates interest for the people higher up in perhaps taking up the business opportunity. So we see that all the time. So it might be, so it might still be the best way just to convince people to use the normal way of signing up.
I guess I suppose the issue more is if people are signing themselves up, but
sure.
Usually at the end of class, if they filled out the form and I'm just then entering it for them, then you're not really giving them the choice then, are you? You just sort of make that choice. Right. It's more if they've got online.
And no one's ever complained about getting signed up the way that we've normally signed people up. So, let's just keep doing what we're doing. If you can find a use for that, like I'm saying in my clinic, I'll probably have a use for the customer, then go for it.
Minion, you
I think the other reason for it as well, if they're involved with another, what I read on another post, if they're involved with another multi-level marketing company that they can only earn off one multi-level marketing company, then this is the way around them joining and obviously still being able to use it and not have the option of earning until obviously they see that doTERRA pay a heap more money and want to swap over. But no, and the other what was I going to say? There was something else too. I've lost my train of thought. It was something when Annabelle said and it triggered something. I can't remember.
Yeah, I'll talk to you while you think about that. I'll tell you what, because I asked that question directly of our general manager about the other companies, because there are other people involved in Norwex or whatever it is. And she was just basically said to me not to worry too much about that, because this is really when we're looking at people, especially in the States, when they're so high up in the ranking and they're literally making millions and millions of dollars, and they then cross-use their contacts, something to do with that. So we're not really, we don't have to be too concerned about that at our level here, I think, until we get to the, you know, multi-million incomes, I think. But until then, yeah, not to worry too much about that. Other, you know, other multi-level marketing companies, and Litsea, yeah.
I just remember what it was, and I think Craig had already covered this before, because I've just said, because I did a post not too long ago on our little Happy Days wellness advocate page I've got, which is this Lou's team, and I said about how I think how the wholesale customer is going to be the top selection when you're going through doing your enrollment.
Yeah.
So it can get a bit confusing, whereas at the moment it's just like, yep, just keep clicking next because the dot's already pre-filled in the right spot. So I've sort of said, you know, it's probably better that we do the enrollments ourselves so there's no mistake, because if there is, then, you know, you're buggered for 90 days if they want.
Yeah, we've spoken about this.
Yeah,
we'll probably get onto Spencer.
I did. I contacted Spencer and sent through off the back of a webinar that we did probably a month ago when we spoke about it. Spencer did come back and say, geez, we hadn't even thought about that, and he was going to get onto IT to see whether it's possible to have the wellness consultant at the top and the wholesale customer below. So I'm waiting to see what they actually do, because obviously it would be really cool if that's the way it does get shown.
It's like that already. Like, I don't know why they just don't change it. Just take out preferred and put in wholesale customer.
That's right. But what we saw was in the Singapore one, it actually was the other way around. They had the wholesale customer at the top and the wellness advocate at the bottom. And I think some of the others were that way. So let's wait and see what they do. But Spencer is absolutely aware of it. And I'll keep an eye on that and see which way it goes. But one of the things just to remember, to your point there, is if someone actually does that by mistake, there's been a fair bit of conversation in the last couple of days on the Diamond Group, and there's no answer to it yet. If someone enrolls as a wholesale customer, they immediately on their back office will actually have a button to upgrade. That button doesn't only appear after 90 days. So if you don't talk to them, as a wholesale customer, you're obviously going to place them somewhere where you can't build underneath them. But in that first 90 days, if they upgrade to a wellness advocate, you cannot place them. You can only place after 90 days if they upgrade. So it's a small technicality. Manyan, yeah?
Can't you still change them? They've got to stay in the sponsors tree somewhere?
Yeah, but there's confusion around that. So we're waiting to get some clarity on it exactly, and it has been elevated. So I don't want to confuse everyone, but the point is, if you do get it wrong, rather ask the question and contact us and let's go to head office and see what's going on. Or if people purposefully enroll as a wholesale customer, start the 90-day journey with them, talk to them for 90 days if you need to, teach them, convince them that they should actually be part of the business if they want to build, and then go down that route. But watch the space. There'll be a heap of information coming out on that over the next few days. But I'll let you know as soon as that new, when the online registration opens up. Okay, cool.
Any points that you guys want to discuss further?
Leanne, did you want to?
Yeah, I did actually. I actually had a really good chat to Sophie in the UK. I've got a lot of people I'm about to enrol over there. And she was talking me through this wholesale account bit. And I did a lot of, I did a dummy run with her so that I knew what was going on. Now I can't remember what I was going to say. Yeah, and she's got a really good video on exactly how it operates and how it can be used in our.
Okay, I'm losing you. Sorry, Leanne.
You're sort of coming
in.
Sorry,
that was a phone call. The phone call coming through. I had to delete it. Yeah, so that was just. I just got some really good information from her about 2 weeks ago. I didn't realise I'm not. I didn't go to leadership, so I didn't know that was. I knew it was coming to Australia, but I know I've got to do it over there, so I wanted to get the heads up as to how to go about it.
Great. Well, Leanne,
Yeah.
if it's something that's available on YouTube and you can just post a link in our event, if it is a video that's a YouTube video, it'd be great if it's available to share. But
It's actually in a UK Rising in their Facebook page.
okay, I'll see what I can find.
Yeah. Yes, it's in there.
Yeah, because they've had it all along in the UK, so that's great. We'll have a look at that. Okay.
Yeah, it was quite good information. That's all. Yeah.
Right. Thank you for that. We'll see what we can find. Lovely. Okay.
And I just want to say for Sandra, who's brand new to this, just when some people sign up, they sign up exactly the way that you did, okay? And if there's anything else, just let us know and we can help, okay? It's all good. Can't hear you, darling.
There we go. Try again. Unmute. That's cool.
It's better if I sign them up then.
Yes.
Once I know how to sign them up properly.
Yeah.
That's it.
Absolutely.
I got from that last conversation that you can't change the status for 90 days. Is that correct?
Yeah. Yep.
And so it's on a different, so that's on the wellness customer. So that's on the wholesale customer. We want to sign people up with a wholesale membership. So the same way that you've done it. So, but we can just talk you through that and show you how that works a little bit on the private. Okay?
Excellent.
Great.
Okay.
Okay. Hello, Amanda, and congratulations on your prize as well.
Yeah, well done.
Very well deserved. Very well deserved. And amazing 11 new enrollments last month.
Right.
You're going to have to quickly share with everyone, how did you enroll 11 people? What did you do last month? That was so amazing.
You'll probably get a bit of a laugh out of this, but I was actually in Diamond Club and I didn't make the 18 enrolments the previous month. So they'd kicked me out, and with 10 days to go, they told me I was back in. So it was like hustle in the last 10 days.
Yeah.
I hadn't enrolled one by the 15th, I think, and then I did the rest. Yeah.
So it can be
I
done.
think it was,
You can enroll 11 people in 15 days, is what you're telling us.
I actually got 41 for my team, which is absolutely massive. Like, oh, sorry, dogs. Yeah, I actually got 41 for my whole team, and our previous best was 20, so it was just crazy.
That's amazing. Congratulations.
Is there
Energy worked.
is there a special formula, or how do you find 11 people?
I just went out of my comfort zone. I went and did a couple of country shows. Alpha, Tess, you would have heard past Alpha.
Yeah, great.
I did a couple of shows. I just rocked up in places I wouldn't normally go to. So.
Well done to
Good
you.
on you.
Outside comfort zone.
Yep, you made it. Good points.
Bottom line for this business is the Chrissy Worthy method.
Yep.
She shared this leadership, and she's brilliant. Chrissy was brilliant. And to do the classes. There may even be an F in there. Do the classes.
And it's as simple as that. The business is about sharing. And Michelle, one-on-one is a class. It doesn't matter if they're 15 or 20 people. It's one person for one person is a class. You've got to get out and talk to people and share, and that's how it's going to grow. So good on you, Amanda. Well done.
Yeah, well done, and congratulations on your
awesome result. Okay.
I actually gave a front that I got because one of my team missed out, so it's a bit of a yay.
Hey, good job.
Very good.
Let's
Cool.
quickly talk about Litsea.
I'm just going to share a slide quickly, and
What do you guys know? What do you guys
Litsea.
know about Litsea? Craig's doing stuff over here.
I'm finding Litsea. It's cool.
You know, I've got something here.
Okay.
Is that the picture you wanted to find?
Yeah, that's cool.
Hugely impressive, my husband.
It is.
Okay, that was sarcasm, by the way. Okay, so Litsea came in. I remember I was talking in Nepal with Rob Young about Litsea, and we were all quite excited about it. And apparently the Chinese have been using it a little bit, of course, for a little while longer than we're just getting it at 24 PV and 35 Aussie dollars. It's really very affordable. And it's a bit likened to Melissa in many ways. it also smells very citrusy, so very uplifting, very refreshing aroma. I really like it. It's really good for the skin as well. I've read that somewhere. So
for oily skin, it's
skin.
actually a really good to use with getting rid of oily skin.
And the Chinese apparently use it a lot for respiratory stuff. So, you know, just think of the respiratory health and the lungs and the system. So basically for used in aromatherapy and meditation for balance and inspiration. I'm just reading off my notes that I took. So bring fresh energy and stimulation. So when you diffuse it, great for cardiovascular, immune, nervous, and respiratory health, especially when taken internally. So there you go. And it supports healthy digestion as well. So a really, really good, useful oil. It smells amazing. So have you guys got Litsea yet? Who's ordered it?
From the 12th.
It's only from the 12th.
Yeah.
Okay, so if you want to change your loyalty rewards order for the month, you can get Litsea from the 12th. It will be available in the back office. 24 PV, $35. Okay, that's all I know about Litsea at the moment, and I like the smell. It's also called Mei Chang, and I'm just reading here in Robbie Zeck's beautiful book on the blossoming heart that Mei Chang is sort of bringing you from a despairing situation into success just on that emotional barometer. And so it's sort of walking you through into more of an emotional feeling of success and shining that light so that you can move through. I think it'd be really good for business builders, and especially if you feel like you're having if you're having a bad day in the business or whatever, this Litsea or Mei Chang could be a really good one. By the way, this is a great book to buy, and Robbie Zeck, The Blossoming Heart. And Catherine, our beautiful Catherine, is actually just finished Catherine level 3, and also all the for the certification that you've got to do, all your coursework that you had to do. And so Catherine has done that for an aromatic kinesiology course with Robbie Zeck, and so Catherine will be qualified as a practitioner very soon, which is very exciting for Catherine. Well done. Yay. Okay, I've talked enough.
All right, I'm just going to flick through and we'll talk through, excuse me, the slides all disappearing.
There's the one you're looking for.
Yeah, that was actually the very first slide. That's classic. There's the flower, by the way. I put that up and no one could guess it. So good luck, Michelle. Thanks. It's not Jasmine, but we were close. That's Litsea. All right, cool. So I've taken some images. Can everyone see that ANZ enrollment history? Just we can see it.
Give us a thumbs up if you can see it.
Yeah. Okay. So I've taken basically photos of slides that were put up. This was all done by Corey Lindley, who's the CFO of doTERRA. Really interesting to see some of these stats around the growth, and obviously Australia is the quickest growing country in the world as far as the doTERRA business goes, and soon to be followed by Malaysia and Singapore, and Europe coming online very, very quickly. So I'm not saying that you have to rush out and go and find all your contacts in Singapore, Malaysia and Europe, but there's certainly
but we are saying go find them.
There's good opportunity, yeah. So Annabelle, yeah, the total wellness advocate in Australia is at 145,000 now. So grown in the last couple of months by almost 20,000 since convention, and obviously growing fairly rapidly, but still 140,000 is still a reasonably small number when you start looking at the size of the country. So Australia's growth-wise is really massive. This was an interesting one that Corey Lindley shared as well, basically just pointing out on the right-hand side doTERRA's earnings relative to some of the other
Average.
averages, relative to some of the other network marketing companies. Obviously, top rank is, this is US dollars as well, yeah. So top rank is obviously your presidential diamond, blue diamond, diamond, platinum, and gold at this level. But interesting when you compare it with some of the other, like an Isogenics that we know and some of the other network marketing companies, doTERRA's remuneration structure is phenomenal, much higher than a lot of the others. So it was really interesting to see that. And, you know, they certainly are very clear in the fact that they're wanting to support wellness advocates. Okay, cool, yeah. So they certainly have made it very clear that everything that doTERRA does will be distributed through wellness advocates, and they'll continue to protect us as business owners through the business. So that's really cool. And as I say, the earning potential has been great. Watch this space. There will be, this is the new compensation plan slide. They've basically just added in the empowerment pool.
Premiers and silvers.
For the premiers and silvers. So that will be updated online. That picture is in our group if you are talking to any builders. And there was a fair bit of discussion. Let me just find, I'll get to it in a minute. There was a fair bit of discussion around the premier bonus, the empowerment bonus. And I'll show you some slides around how many people it affected and who was earning from that. So as we go through this, please shout if you've got any questions, but I just wanted to share with you some of the different slides that Corey Lindley shared with us. So that's the compensation bit. They absolutely, this is major vision of doTERRA, and that's to be known as the company that helps the most people get out of debt. We had a really good presentation from Corey around, I suppose, the financial advice and the financial planning side of the business. You may have seen through our group that I've put out some tools and calculators on our website. I've got a group of financial planners around the country who can assist on our Healthy Wealthy, wellthy.com.au. There are budget tools there, there's calculators there, there's Excel spreadsheets for you to play with. And if there's anything that we can do to support you around the wealth and the planning, but guys, please shout. We're happy to help. And if you need to see someone face-to-face, I've got a network of financial planners and advisors around the country that can help on that. I'm busy doing some work with a couple of the presidential diamonds at the moment around their financial advice and financial planning. So if there's anything we can do, but it's great that it's one of doTERRA's visions. I mean, what other company have you ever worked with where their vision was to help as many people get out of debt as possible? So amazing story, and they really are living up to that. Just an update on some of the numbers. This is Australia and New Zealand. You can see how we now just over 400 silver leaders and growing rapidly, sort of grown by 250 in that 15-16 year. We're still just waiting for the 16-17 numbers, and we'll see how that goes. So obviously silver's growing rapidly. And this was an interesting one where they talk about the average months to advance. I know people always ask, how long is it going to take me to become a gold, or how long is it going to take me? Let me just jump forward one and I'll show you that one. So in Australia and New Zealand, on average, it takes 17 months to get to silver. In America, it's longer. Gold is 22 months, and in America, it's longer. And a lot of that is because in Australia, we've taught people to build down and rank advance quicker and not build for that power of 3. And again, without complicating issues, that's something that we can talk about. But for people to move from silver to gold is potentially 11 months, whereas look how long it takes in America. It's almost twice as long for people to rank advance in America. For people to go gold and platinum through to diamond, 12 an extra 7 months. So this is kind of the average. Who's got a question? Someone was saying something?
No, I was just wondering if anyone else, I can't see the American figures.
Oh, on the right-hand side, yeah?
Yeah, it might be my screen. I don't know that it's...
Okay. I'll share the slides with a link through to our website. So if anyone wants to have a browse through them, I'll connect them. Thanks, Sandra. I'm sorry about that. Slide's not too clear. So, if someone's keen to build to a silver level, realistically, it's taking people a year and a half to get there. On average. And I know, Annabelle, you'll get to silver in under that time, the way you're going at the moment, which is fantastic. And I know people have got to Premier in under 12 months, and it's great. And there's no pressure on anyone, because remember, you're running your own business. There's no rush in this. And as Tess said earlier, forward is forward, and take your time to get there. It's not like it's a race and it's a challenge, but it was very interesting to see some of the information.
Just do the classes.
Yep, absolutely. So can you all see that one? That's an update on the empowerment bonus, which was launched in March and April. So remember, what do you need to do to get the empowerment bonus? You need to be Premier or Silver, and you need to enroll at least one person. So if we have a look, with 100 PV, yep. So in March, the bonus was an extra $200 for the month. And over 474 people in Australia and New Zealand qualified for that. In April, that bonus was a little bit higher, which is fantastic. It's like, there you go, there's an extra $200 bonus for you guys.
Do you know if that was Aussie dollars or
this is
US? That's US,
this
isn't it?
US, yes.
That's US, so it's more
it was
like
about
260.
Yeah.
250.
60 it was.
What is that?
Million?
Yeah, 260 it was.
260 Australian.
It was 200.
It really is worth getting to those levels of Premier and Silver, just so you can get that. That pays for your oils. Boom, done. That's your own oils, and the rest is all it's pocket money and putting back into your business a bit.
Absolutely. But that was really, really good. So this one just shows in Australia, 70% of silvers actually qualified for the bonus. 64% of premiers qualified. So that means there are obviously a fair few of those people at those ranks that didn't enroll a single person in that month, which is a little bit unfortunate, because they've given away, for the amount of effort involved, it's for a bonus of $200 odd is unfortunate. So certainly if you've got people in your team, and as that grows, you really want to encourage them to continue to enroll, so that they can share in that bonus pool and earn that money, because it's there for the taking. You want to make the most of it. Make sure you rank and enroll someone in that month. So that was really cool. So that we all know, that's the empowerment pool. You get 1% commissionable. That's globally, as long as you're enrolling that one person. So that was this slide. I'm not going to get into the wholesale customer. We've spoken about that, and I'll share some more information on that in the coming days. We just had confirmation, and it was so good to have another one of the owners of doTERRA at leadership, who just sat up on stage answering people's questions for like an hour and a half. Just absolutely any question that was thrown at him, he was very open and honest in answering. And Corey Lindley was very, very good in sharing doTERRA's plans. For those of you who are going to convention in September, they've actually just approved an additional $100 million spend to expand the doTERRA campus and offices in Salt Lake. So the growth of the business has been so big that they're now adding an extra $100 million of expansion to the doTERRA head office. So it'll be great to see where that all grows to. So overall, that's where we are in the world. Just over 3 million customers of doTERRA globally, and you can see how quickly that's growing. We see that slide fairly regularly, but some amazing growth when you have a look at what's going on around the world. This was obviously Australia at 127% growth as the most rapid growing in the world, but the one that I wanted to show you is these ones. We often get asked, why is doTERRA not in certain countries? And what they do is they have a look at where there are people who have global access accounts, so where they live, where they don't have distribution, but they're ordering directly from America. And on that basis, they then prioritize which countries look to be the ones that they need to work with to open next. And the ones they're working on at the moment, obviously Malaysia is now open, so you can enroll in Malaysia, and it's Malaysia, Singapore together with one office. Colombia and Ecuador is open. New Zealand is open. Russia is coming. So I'm not sure who speaks Russian, and we can surely go and visit and have a Russian convention. Auntie Olga. So we'll be doing vodka shooters at the Moscow convention at some stage. I'm not sure. Yep. And then we're looking excitingly next year at Brazil. We've got a couple of Brazil girls down the Gold Coast who are actually in Brazil at the moment, and they're extremely excited about getting into an open Brazilian market, which is awesome. And then we're seeing this European expansion where they'll move east from Austria across east into the Eastern Bloc countries, and that's part of that Eastern Bloc into Russia. So massive expansion going on in the European market. So
and just for those of you who you know, because we have so many South Africans living in Australia as well, Michelle, you've got family there as well, is they are looking at that, which is a you know, maybe not 2018, but soon after that they might open in South Africa as well.
Yeah, Corey did mention that South Africa is one of the top ones on their list, and what's her name? The Queen of doTERRA?
Teresa Harding.
No, the head queen in Sydney.
Emily
Wright.
In Sydney?
Oh no, in America. Emily. What's that?
Mingen?
Lost you.
Oh, I said doTERRA.
doTERRA, yes.
Who's that?
But Emily Wright is working on potentially South Africa is one of those as well that they're looking to find ways to open, because there's obviously interest in the South African market, so that's great. This was interesting. People who are using Lifelong Vitality have a 29% higher retention rate. So there was a really good presentation on the Saturday around how people are embracing the other products of doTERRA, and not just looking at essential oils, but looking at what other products are there. And Lifelong Vitality is something they refer to as an anchor product. So we've spoken about it on webinar. If you can talk to people about what other vitamins and minerals are they taking, do they want to try Lifelong Vitality, and get them onto the loyalty rewards program so that they're ordering their Lifelong Vitality every month, we're seeing a 29% increase or higher retention rate for the people who are using Lifelong Vitality, because they don't go off it. It becomes a way of life. And as Tess said, that's what we're selling, is a healthier way of life. And people are starting to really show the benefit of going on Lifelong Vitality in Australia.
You know, if people try it, the way I'd like to talk about the Lifelong Vitality now is just to say to people, give it a go on your LRP, on your loyalty rewards order. Give it a go for 3 months. And really, if after 3 months, if you take a few days off it and it hasn't made a difference to you, your decision, but give it 3 months at least. We've actually I have to laugh at my daughter. She's 15 years old, and we were walking down. We had a little bit of sushi down here tonight at our local sushi shop, and for dinner. And she's bouncing. She's literally bouncing down there. She just wants to run, and she says she doesn't know what's going on because hasn't had moods for. I mustn't talk too loud. She'll hear me. I'll get a mom. She hasn't been moody for the last, a week and a bit longer, maybe even. And she's so full of energy. And so I just looked at her. I said to her, "Are you taking Lifelong Vitality?" She says, "Yeah." It's made a difference. It's made an incredible difference for her. So just letting you know, this stuff works.
Yeah, absolutely. There's definitely proof. All right, cool. One of the other interesting points that was made is looking at the data in Australia. 88% of people actually don't enroll in Australia currently. So there's only 12% of people who go on and enroll someone and see the business opportunity. So for all of you who are on this webinar, good on you, because you've obviously opened to the idea of the business opportunity. But it does create huge opportunity for us to talk to the people that we have in our business. So if you've got people in your business, don't forget about them. The fact that they might be ordering, or as we said at the start of this webinar, they haven't ordered for 6 months, don't write them off. Keep having the wellness conversations with them. Keep sharing with them the special offers. Keep sharing with them how the business is growing and what the opportunities are, because you just never know when someone says, I don't mind earning an extra $200 or $300 a month. I might need, I need a hand. And suddenly you have someone who has been a loyal elite because they've been ordering their loyalty rewards every month, and suddenly they find themselves as an elite and they've been loyal to the business, and suddenly they start seeing they're getting $80, $90, $100 dropping into their back office. So don't write it off, but keep an eye on the people in your business as to how they're growing and whether they might be interested in finding out more about the business. So that one was interesting. This was just the story of the anchor and the LRP for lifelong vitality. So keep that in mind. If you have people that are not on loyalty rewards, maybe it's worth doing a bit of a lifelong vitality campaign.
Do a wellness consult with people around the lifelong vitality. Offer lifelong vitality when you follow up with people as well. Okay.
All right. And then I thought it would be just great for those who did do Diamond Club, and I know there was Amanda, and I'm not sure anyone else on here did Diamond Club. But if there's anyone who's contemplating giving their business a massive jump start next year in February, March, April, because it'll be run again next year, good on you, Michelle. Glad to see that hand go up. That's exciting.
You must be premier. You must be premier in December.
Yep. So we've got to make sure we work with you to get you to that level, and then support you with any other contacts and things around. But thought I'd just share with you some of the details. So this year, Diamond Club went from 7,800 people last year to 11,700 people. New enrollments during Diamond Club. So during the time of Diamond Club, there's 11,000, almost 12,000 new people being enrolled. Absolutely amazing. And for those who actually did it,
4 months.
Yeah, in 4 months. So you're talking about over 3,000 new people being enrolled in Diamond Club. So massive injection into the business. And as you say, on average, 112 people for each person who took part. In Diamond Club, we've had 2 people go to Diamond, 2 go to Platinum, 18 to rank to Gold, and 18 to Silver during Diamond Club. So that was from the time they started until the end of May. Those are the sort of rank advancements we've seen. So unbelievable, amazing opportunity for people to grow their business. And 21 of those people actually did multiple rank advancing. So they might have jumped from Silver right through Gold into Platinum because they've grown their business so well and expanded it. But as Amanda said, besides the 11 she enrolled, there's 20, 30, 40 other people that you help enroll because you're running classes with other people in your business, and you really are supporting people to expand that. So it was just amazing to kind of see those numbers.
We've got 5 minutes left.
Okay, cool. So 104 people finished up Diamond Club this year compared to 47 last year. So really, really cool to see people get to those levels. So fantastic result. And that's, to finish off with, that was just a slide of all of the people who did Diamond Club. And I know Jackie's hiding in the back row there somewhere as well. She did an amazing job, and Lee and a couple of them there. So really, really good. And the final winners of the Diamond Club will be announced in the coming weeks. They've just announced the top 10. But the winners of Diamond Club will be announced shortly. So we'll share all of that on the Facebook page as well shortly. Cool.
And Jackie, I was going to say, Jackie made the top 10. They just left her name off that list.
They left her off the list. They made a few boo-boos on the night where people were not recognised. I know Hayley wasn't recognised either.
So Hayley was telling me that the next day.
We love them and we know. So. Oh, actually, lovely. Annabelle says her 13-year-old oldest is also taking lifelong vitality. Yeah, Steve. Yeah, thanks, Michelle. That stuff really does work, and we actually need to share our experiences, I think, with lifelong vitality. Maybe we can do that this month and just do a few posts in our own groups on Lifelong Vitality, or make a little live video and post that. That might be worth it.
Cool.
Anyone want to finish up with any questions or anything to add before we finish up? Sandy?
Sandra, I'll unmute you. There you go. Yep, all yours.
How do you get to Uluru next year?
How? Great question. You have to do lots and lots of classes. So what will happen is with this, it's an incentive trip. So with the incentive trips, what will happen very soon is they will bring out a description of what you need to do to earn how many points. You'll get points allocated for enrolling people on 100 PV enrollment order, extra points if they go on loyalty rewards, etc., etc. And then there'll be certain levels. If you get, say, 80 points, you get to this level of paid trip, and if you get to 125 points, whatever, you're at level 1. So just watch out for the incentive, because there are different levels of it, and one can also buy in and pay the difference for these trips. It's so worth going to these trips, guys. You make friends, you meet people. This business becomes so much more connected when we go on these beautiful trips, and it's like-minded people. There's no nasty people there. Oh, maybe Dotessa, but
and this one will be the first Australian Healing Hands sponsored trip or supported trip. So, and hence going to the centre of Australia kind of makes real sense. So you can imagine it's going to be a really moving couple of days at Ayers Rock, with some real serious involvement and support in the local community, I'm sure, and a fair bit of donation and gifting back to the local Aboriginal community. And I'm assuming that, but it would be, considering what Fiji was about, and considering the previous year when they went to New Zealand, I think, when they did the fur trip. So, Sandra, it's all going to be about enrolling people, as many as we can, getting them onto loyalty rewards, and being very active in June, July, August, September, and probably through to October, November, it'll cut off. So, good question. Cool.
So sorry, just with Healing Hands, I've seen Healing Hands. Who are they?
Sure. Healing Hands is effectively the charity side of doTERRA, and it's part of, we can contribute or donate to Healing Hands Foundation every time you place an order, and they use that. Tessa's trip to Nepal, for example, all the funds raised through charity donations is what then goes back into Nepal, into the schools and the local communities. So the Australian Foundation has just been established, and we'll be allowed to make donations to the Australian charity, and that fundraising will be put back into the Australian community specifically going forward.
They have many projects around the world, Sandra. So you can actually have a look at their projects on the doTERRA website, the main website. It will show you what they've been involved in, and what our money can actually, when we give back. You can put $1, for example, in with every order. You can just tick box, $1 goes to Healing Hands.
Yeah.
And we know that money goes straight to the people. It does not get pocketed. That money goes straight to the people. So it's a good one to give for.
And you may have seen that they've got the Hope oil available now as well, which is the Hope blend. And all of the revenue raised from the Hope blend goes into the Australian Healing Hands Foundation now as well. So the Hope oil will be on sale from, I think, next week as well, the same time as Litsea. Really lovely Hope oil. Okay.
All right, guys.
So just to
have a desperate hello. Hi, Sharon.
Just to wrap things up, a couple of announcements. Tess is running a class here on Saturday. If anyone's got anyone that they want to get in front of Tess for a class,
just bring new people.
We're happy.
3 o'clock Sunday at my place.
We're going to be doing it
Saturday.
Here, 3 o'clock Saturday. We're happy to help enroll people for you. If you've got anyone in the Brisbane area who wants to come to a class, that's on Tessa's website. Next Friday, 16th, Jesse's got a group meeting at her house. It's an open invitation for anyone who wants to do an afternoon of business planning and get into their business.
I think it's ticketed, right?
I think so, yep. So have a look on Jesse's website. And then on the 18th of June in Brisbane, Jesse's running a business builders training. That's in Jesse's members only.
I've shared it as
That's been shared as well. And then I've just shared in this event and on our Healthy Wealthy group The Emotional Essentials, they're on the Gold Coast tonight. Sydney on the 10th, Melbourne on the 11th, and in Brisbane on the 13th. So if you want to go along,
Amanda Porter.
Amanda
Who
Porter,
wrote the
yeah.
Emotions and Essentials book, authored that.
So there are still tickets available for Brisbane on the 13th if anyone's in Brisbane and wants to attend that one.
When's the Melbourne one?
Melbourne is
11th.
on the 11th, which is Sunday, I think, Sandra.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So the link is, the link is in the website. But so she's really good. We got to meet her in Perth, and it's a good 3-hour session if you're interested in that at all. All right. Guys, we've gone a bit over, but thank you. Hopefully that's helped in some way for some people, answered some questions. And thank you all for taking part.
Good night, everyone. Ta-ta. Thanks for joining us. Nice to see your faces.
See you all soon. Get those classes going.